Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year, and welcome to another episode of Tutor Doctor TV with your host, Jessica Bush.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Doug. Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome back for 2021 and some more really interesting podcasts.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you're the host of the show, so you tell me what's going on. Well, how are you? What's going on?
I'm okay. As some of you may know, I'm recovering. I'm okay. I had a little family COVID thing, but I'm back. Took a while, and it's slow and steady, but we're good. And I want to talk to you guys today about, I have Tutor Josh, which some of you may know from the past podcasts, has put together a really interesting workshop starting soon, starting January 20th for fifth graders. So what I want to talk about today, hey, sweetie, there she is. Happy New Year. Missed you too. We need to get together. Looks like you were on some sort of vacation in the tropical place. Anyway, I want to talk to you about why this workshop is important for your fifth grader, why Josh came up with the idea, which is a great idea, and what we see going on out there, and how, mainly parents, how this workshop can benefit your fifth grader. I think that's the most important thing. So let's bring on Josh.
Nice.
Happy New Year, everyone. Great to be back. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Doug.
Welcome.
Good to have you back. I was just telling everybody how you came up with the concept of this workshop and how important it is going to be for fifth graders and how it's going to benefit their kids. So
Yeah.
can we just show the graphic quickly, maybe, about what we're all about? So why is it important to prepare for the Njsla testing in fifth grade especially? So what is the Njsla testing? Do we know? Well, everybody knows the word PARC. They're not using PARC anymore. They're using Njsla. So it's a very similar test, which they usually start officially in third grade, right, Josh?
Yep.
And why is this test even more important for fifth graders than it is for the younger ones? So that's part of what we want to start with, and then get into how this workshop will benefit your kids.
Yep. So before I go into that, a little bit about why they have changed the name Njsla. Many of us know, and I have spoken about them before, the Common Core standards. I believe back in 2018, I could be, or earlier, I could be wrong about that, but the New Jersey, state of New Jersey, adopted the Common Core standards and changed them to the New Jersey Learning Standards. So Njsla is the New Jersey Learning Standards Assessment, which is how the state assesses students' abilities, capabilities, understanding of those standards.
And it starts really officially in third grade. It goes all the way through high school. So they're going to have these lovely tests all the way through high school.
So this is really important for fifth grade for multiple reasons, but I think the three most important reasons that we're trying to highlight in this workshop is that in fifth grade, it's the concepts that are on here will, one, prepare students for middle school, and they will allow teachers and districts to know, as you get higher up in middle school, where to place your child in, in an honors class or in pre-algebra, or what type of math class they should be in based on how they score on this test. It's also important because it's going to cover every topic and everything that students are already currently learning in the classroom, because it's aligned with the standards. So it's really going to give you, as parents, how your students are doing in the classroom, how and what their gaps are and how that
What their-
digital
what their-
divide is
what
affecting
their
them.
strengths and weaknesses are.
Yep. And then I think the third reason that it's very important in fifth grade, which we're not really going to touch on this aspect so much today, but it will be a part of the workshop. Fifth grade is the first year that science becomes a part of the NJSLA, and science is tested in 3 different grade levels every 3 years. So fifth grade is the first year that you really get science, because as you branch out in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then going into high school is where you start to focus your science understanding in that grade level. In 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, you're really doing a mixture of physical life. You're doing a mixture of everything. But so in 5th grade, they're, testing, the science ability to, again, help them understand, the placements, for science as well. Like Jessica said, we're going to talk about today, I'm going to give you a little insight on, the important things, that are going to come with the test, and how, I'm sort of going to view it in the workshop. We're going to talk about how the workshop is going to be run. And then we're going to talk about, like Jessica said, most importantly, the benefits that the workshop is going to have.
Yeah, and I want
students.
to start with that, because I think that there are 4 or 5 really key benefits, how this workshop will benefit your 5th grader and what the takeaways will be for them. So maybe we can go through those 4 or 5 bullets first, Josh.
Yeah. So.
And good to see you, Kimberly. I see you joined in. Good to see you.
So the 4 benefits, let's start with improvement of test skills and test scores, because first and foremost, what this workshop is going to do is it's ultimately going to hopefully improve test taking abilities and improve your test scores on this test from last year. And then using those test skills that we've learned here to help improve down the road in 6th, 7th, and beyond grades and beyond. So, how are we going to improve test skills? Test taking can be very, hard and challenging for certain students, especially in a virtual setting. So how we're going to improve test skills is I have a lot of fun and creative reading strategies and ideas that I will introduce, in the beginning of, the first 2 or 3 sessions. And then the students are going to be able to interact with themselves, in breakout rooms and really, have conversations with each other.
So I think that is really important that we need to talk about is, this is what your kids are lacking sometimes with virtual school and being online and just spacing out sometimes when, the teacher isn't keeping up with them or they can lose focus, is they can actually have peer-to-peer interaction with each other, which I think is really important right now.
And within that peer-to-peer interaction, when students are in that interaction, Jessica and I will just be in the rooms as observers and, commenters and helpers, facilitators to the students, driven conversation. Because it's very easy to, as a teacher, just want to, sit here and, for an hour to, it's going to be very overwhelming. So we want to incorporate as much student-driven conversation and student interaction and engagement as possible.
Right.
I think, the test skills that are going to be really important for us to focus on, especially for language arts, is something that I like to refer to as DCI. DCI stands for defend, compare, contrast, and investigate. The test is broken down into each question, is broken down into 2 parts. Part A, the actual question, and part B, defend your answer. Where in the text did you find your answer? Whether it's a summary question, whether it's a theme question, whether it's a vocab question, you have to defend every single answer.
So that's the D in DCI, is defend.
That's the D. The C stands for compare, contrast. We're going to be reading a lot of different, pieces of literature and stories and articles together. And what this test will do is, there won't be a writing prompt at the end of every story. They'll wait to give you the writing prompt so you can compare the ideas in 2 or 3 stories, or ask comparison questions, in the multiple choice questions based on the themes and the points of view of both stories. How did the author in this story view the situation? How did the author in that story handle the situation, in similar situations? So that's the C. And the I is investigate. So really by investigate, I mean, we're really going to investigate and dig deep and, sort of be detectives or investigators, in breaking down these readings. Because while everything is at a 5th grade level, they're also, it's not meant to be easy, because they're testing your, your comprehension, your understanding, the concepts. So, we're going to investigate, we're going to highlight, we're going to underline, we're going to star, we're going to asterisk, we're going to, use, different symbols to really understand what the author is talking about. We're going to analyze the quotes and really, and all of that highlight and goes under the I, which stands for investigate.
Okay,
and
I want to stop you right here for 1 second. I think this is where I want to also say part of the 22 hours of learning time with Josh in this class. Yes, it's a long ongoing class. It's actually 10 sessions on Wednesday, starting January 20th. And that also includes 2 science Saturdays. Okay. So I think to get through all of this, which they normally do in school, but we're doing it in a way more creative, interactive, engaging way. We need this type of time to go through this. So during this time, there will be, well, I think we said three what we call breakout, meaning a recap phone or Google Meet sessions with Josh. So with you, the parent, Josh, and your student, you will have a one-on-one where throughout the 22 sessions, you will review the student's progress and highlight the ELA, the math strengths and weaknesses. I think this is really, really key to seeing the progress that your kid will make.
So those conferences, I don't think we put it in, but Jessica will, we'll let everyone know. Those conferences will also be on Wednesday night, starting directly after the workshop, so that everything is on the same day, except for the science, which, as Jessica noted, is on Saturdays.
And we only have 2 science Saturdays, right? 2 science.
As of now, only 2 science Saturdays, correct? It may, and Jessica, we will discuss this further as we see, based on, a lot of the science resources, unfortunately, are not as available as math and ELA. So if Jessica and I find at some point during the workshop that there is only going to be 1 science Saturday or 1 longer science Saturday, we'll make sure we let everyone know, those details. But I want to really quickly talk about these conferences and what these conferences are going to do. As the workshop is progressing, I'm going to be taking notes on every student. Every student will sort of have like their own little folder, so to speak, where I'm tracking, okay, they're really good in understanding theme, but they struggle with vocabulary. So, that's the things that we will talk about in this conference. And I will give you, the parent, pointers and information and tips on how to help your child, work through these things so they can improve in those skills throughout the end of the workshop.
And we can continue after the workshop is done, either connecting with the teacher and having or doing some one-on-one private tutoring afterwards.
Yeah, correct. We haven't, mentioned. Do we want to talk about the minimum and maximum number of students that will be in the workshops? So we
Well,
can.
it's quickly. I mean, it's going to be a very exclusive small group. You know, minimum of 3, maximum of 10 at the very, very most. And there'll be, like Josh said, there'll be breakout sessions.
Yeah. So ELA for language arts, there'll be breakout sessions probably starting, ELA will be probably starting in like week 2 or 3 with the breakout sessions. But talk a little bit about math, how math will work. I will review the topic or the question with the students. Review any sort of tool or manipulative that they may need that's virtual, like blocks or a coordinate grid or something like that. And then they will immediately go into a breakout room, do the problem amongst themselves, in a small group of 2, max 3 people. And then we'll come back together and review what the groups thought about and see, okay, how did the differences, because every group is going to solve the problem differently. Every student's going to have their own way of solving the problem. And as we get down the line and, we have these conferences, it's going to help us, Jessica and I, also sort of personalize those breakout groups more, make sure, the students who are stronger in fractions, may go in a group together, but the students who struggle with fractions may go in a group together, or vice versa. We may mix them up to see, if the students are able to help each other with, some of these topics.
Good. I also think that we should talk a little bit about, since we're getting on to 17 minutes or so, why we're focusing in 5th grade and how this 5th grade test is a little bit more important as your kids move into 6th grade, which is usually a different school, a higher level. In middle school, the kids are expected to be more independent. We're coming off of all virtual, hybrid learning. And why is 5th grade testing a little bit more of a focus for us right now?
So like we said earlier, I think 5th grade is important because it's that year that is the transition to middle school. While some schools have 5th grade in the middle school, but 5th grade is still really considered an elementary grade. And I think it's important to address 5th grade because with middle school coming up, it's so crucial to make sure, like Jessica said, that, these skills are addressed so that there can be the independence that's needed. The students are able to, put themselves in situations to, be in the best classes possible for them. But for me, I really think that it's important to address 5th grade because they've taken the test twice already. So as in 5th grade, you're in upper elementary, you're moving to middle school, yes, but you really know what to expect from the test. And doing a virtual workshop, I felt that, doing it with 3rd or 4th grade where they had either no years of experience or 1 year of experience, it would be a harder concept to grasp, in such a short period of time together. So I really felt that, 5th grade was that good age level where it wasn't, going to be too hard, but it wasn't going to be too easy. It's sort of like the middle point where, I think the students will know what to expect, knowing that it's a test prep. They've taken this test twice, but they will also, not know what to expect because the test is going to be, structured differently and, it's going to provide that challenge because it is preparing them for middle school, which is something that the 3rd and 4th grade test really doesn't do so much of.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for us? If you do, put them in the chat. You can also email me directly. It's going to be a really, really beneficial workshop. It's a big investment for your kids. I think especially this year, we need to know what your kids' gaps and strengths are. More than ever, as they're moving into middle school, we really need to know where are the gaps and strengths. And it'll determine how middle school goes for them. So we can help. And I think that it's a great idea. Hey, Pat, nice that you're in Myrtle Beach. Have a lovely time at the beach.
Oh, cold.
Yeah, so if you've got a fifth grader, this is a great opportunity. Yes, they're going to be on virtual. Yes, they're going to have a little bit more homework, but we have learned with engagement and fun and smaller breakout groups and having peer-to-peer communication, having them interact with each other, keeping it fun and connected, that's what keeps your kids engaged. So I wish we could have an in-person workshop right now. Believe me, I do. One day we will again. But I think that you should seriously, talk to me about the benefits of how this could help your kids.
It's everything's going to be on Google Meet. So, it's easily accessible for students. All students have a Google Classroom, a Google account. And like we said, it's going to benefit, not only, the test and the test scores, but it's going to, help us figure out the gaps, the strengths, the weaknesses, the needs of improvement, the areas of struggle to prepare for middle school and to finish strong for the end of fifth grade, which also is very important. So while it's a test prep workshop, our ultimate goal is to, show a succession and, see students improving throughout the workshop.
Right.
I do want to point out that President's Week that many people are off. There is no workshop that week.
We will not have the workshop that week.
We will not have the workshop, but if there are, questions or, I'm around that week. If there is anything that, families need throughout the workshop, they're going to miss another session and they would like to make it up that week. We can do that. If they know there's going to be a conflict, we could make it up. If 2 or 3 students, are going to have that conflict, we can try to get a group together that week. But I'm off that entire week. So I have days where, if, one day works for one student, another day works for another, we will accommodate everyone because, as Jessica said, it's a big time commitment and, sometimes things come up and we want to make sure that you are able to, attend and, get the most out of the workshop.
So let us know. If you want to put my email address up, Doug, ask me for the link. Yeah, ask me for the link to register. Send me a note. 5th grade parents, let's talk. And good information, Josh. We appreciate it. And it's a great idea, especially now that we've had almost 9-10 months of back and forth virtual hybrid insanity here. And we have more to go. So
yeah,
we are here to help your kids. That's what we're all about. Anything else? I think we've covered a lot. Thank you guys who tuned in. Please share. I will be sharing this out to families and moms groups and parents groups. If you know of someone that has a 5th grader, this is the perfect workshop for them. We good to roll?
Yeah, good job,
Stay
guys.
tuned. Stay tuned. We will be back. And thank you for being on, Josh. Thank you always, Doug. And stay tuned for more.
Thanks for tuning in to Tutor Doctor TV.
That's us. Have a good one.